In Conversation with Terry Shepard, award-winning broadcaster, narrator, and author. A deep dive into the writer's craft with the artists and support systems who create the stories we love.
Thanks, Lisa. Margaret Mizushima writes internationally published Timber Creek Canine Mysteries. She serves as past president of the Rocky Mountain chapter of Mystery Writers of America and was elected Writer of the Year by Rocky Mountain Fiction Writers. She is the recipient of a Colorado Authors League Award, a Benjamin Franklin Book Award, a SEBA Clue Award, and 2 Willa Literary Awards by Women Writing the West. Her books have been finalists for Spur Awards by Western Writers of America, a Killer Nashville Silver Falchion Award, and the Colorado Book Award. She and her husband recently moved from Colorado, where they raised 2 daughters and a multitude of animals, to a home in the Pacific Northwest. Welcome to the conversation.
Thank you. So great to visit with you, Terry.
And it was nice to meet you last year at BoucherCon, where we are right now.
That's right, a year later.
What made you decide to write?
I think I always wanted to write, but I went into a career where I could make money right off the bat, and that was speech pathology, speech and language pathology. So I did that for about 25 years. And after I retired from that career, I tried writing a nonfiction book about intuitive communication. I got 1 chapter written, and after that, I sat down and kind of wrote some chapters for a paranormal romance, and I never looked back. I went right into fiction writing, knowing nothing about it. But by attending conferences, craft-based conferences, I finally learned how to write some fiction, and I switched genres. I ended up writing multiple manuscripts, but none of them sold. So I then tried a mystery and found a publisher, Crooked Lane Books, and I'm eight books into the series, and 9th book, October 8th, is when the 9th book comes out in that series. It's called the Timber Creek Canine Mysteries.
Let's talk about Book 9, since we're so close to the launch. Give us the 411.
Book 9 features the series characters, who are Maddie. She is a canine deputy, her German Shepherd partner, Robo, and a veterinarian, Cole, who is Maddie's love interest as well as Robo's doctor. And the 3 of them solve mysteries and crimes that occur in their high mountain community of Timber Creek, Colorado. But it's a fictional town, so don't look for it on a map. Anyway, Book 9 has a little different setting because my husband and I ended up moving from Colorado to the Olympic Peninsula of Washington State. And as soon as I saw those beautiful forests, I thought, what a great place to hide a body. And so I knew that I needed to set one of the mysteries there. So Book 9 is set on the Olympic Peninsula. It's called Gathering Mist. It's in a much wetter climate, the rainforests of the Olympic Mountains. And Maddie and Robo are called to that area to look for a celebrity's missing child. And soon they discover evidence that points to something more sinister than a child just walking away from a movie set. And so, the book heats up, and they need to try to find that boy before he disappears forever. So that is Book 9 in the series. All of the books stand alone, but Book 9 follows quite a bit of backstory for Maddie and Cole, and it's kind of the first one in a starting over place. I really enjoyed writing it. I hope my readers enjoy reading it.
One of the things that's always fascinated me about talking with authors is where your ideas come from. How did you get the idea for this plot?
Well, there's something for Cole to discover, there's something for Maddie and Robo to do, and I think the celebrity idea just came out of the blue. But I wrapped them all together and decided that was going to be book 9.
Margaret Mizushima is our guest. We're talking about her Canine Mystery Series, and the noises you hear in the background is BoucherCon 2024. We are actually in the bookstore for these series of conversations with dozens of people who are looking at books, talking to authors from panels who are here for the book signings, and you can almost feel the magical aura of creation here, can't you?
Yes. This is just a great conference where readers and authors can come together and talk about books, and readers are here looking for their next great read. It's a wonderful conference with a great mix of people.
In the course of creating the series, you were able to have a traditional publishing relationship.
Yes.
There are many of us indies who dream of that. How did you make that real?
It took a decade and a half. I first met my agent, Terry Wolf, and she is a Colorado-based agent at one of the Colorado-based conferences. I met her at Pikes Peak Conference in Colorado Springs, which is a craft-based conference where authors go to learn the how-tos of writing, rather than this one is kind of more of a reader-based conference. So I met her there. She really loved the series. We did a little bit of revising and things together, and she shopped it around for quite a while, and we got lots of rejections. And that was back around 2011, I would say. We were ending up with several rejections, and then we met Matt Martz from Crooked Lane Books. And I got to talk with him at the conference. He agreed to read the first book in the series, and the assistant that he had actually read it happened to love dogs. And of course, Robo is the star of the series. One thing led to another, and they eventually offered me a 2-book contract. So
We talk a lot about the creation of characters who are human. How did you build Robo's character?
Thanks for asking that. I love to talk about that. I think I have been a dog watcher since I was a child. I can remember I grew up on a cattle ranch, and so there were a lot of dogs that would come and go with the people that worked on the ranch. And it was just so interesting to see how the different dogs reacted to each other and watch their poses that they would do for playing, or if they were a little bit, unsure and things like that. So I've always enjoyed that. My husband is a veterinarian, and we've always had anywhere from 2 to 5 dogs in our pack at any one time. One of his clients happened to train patrol and narcotics detection dogs, and so he offered to let me shadow him, and that just kind of came to me that this would be really cool to have a canine officer and a veterinarian as protagonists, inspired by the great J.A. Jansen, Margaret Cole. I was reading a lot of their mysteries at that time, to have the 2 protagonists that might end up being a love interest. And then Robo, and he kind of does his own thing, and he's not anthropomorphized. We just have him be a dog. And I just loved it. It's been so fun.
But he still has a very nuanced character. There's a lot of detail to that.
Yeah, lots of watching those behaviors and trying to spill them out on the page for Maddie to try to learn to read. And that's her job as handler, is reading her dog.
What would your 5-star fans say that they love most about your writing?
They seem to mostly love the characters. People just love the relationship between Maddie and Robo. Maddie has a lot of baggage at the first of the series that she's unpacking gradually through the series. Cole has his set of baggage as well. So they stay apart for a while, even though there's an attraction there. I think my readers like that and like seeing them come together slowly and gradually. And then they also like the animal-human bond that I worked on specifically. I worked as a speech pathologist for 25 years, and so I had a lot of clients who had service dogs. Mm-hmm. I could see that bond and how it helped them navigate their environment or navigate relationships. So that's what I wanted for Maddie. Robo has helped her learn how to trust people by learning how to trust him.
Margaret Mizushima is our guest. Her website is margaretmizushima.com. The last name is spelled M-I-Z-U-S-H-I-M-A. And she writes about dogs. This will be her 9th book. Will there be more?
Oh, yeah. Yes, I have book 10 and 11 under contract. So book 10 I've finished a rough draft. I'm so excited. I'm ahead of schedule for a change. During those years we were moving, I was always just right down to the deadline in getting my drafts done. October 1 is my deadline, and I'm working on the final revisions, and we'll have it ready by then. So that book will come out in 2025. The title is not approved yet, so we'll just see. Most of my titles have a gerund phrase. The titling always ends up being a team effort.
And that's a little different than what independent authors deal with. What is it like having a team that not only helps you promote your books, but also has input on their creation?
I had never been published before and knew what I had learned about the publishing industry was at conferences. There were things that I was a little bit tentative and hesitant to try to navigate myself, and that was 10 years ago. I felt when I got signed that these people I was working with knew a whole lot more about the publishing industry than I did. I immediately wanted to just be a teammate. It has been really good. We do work well together, agent, publisher, and and so I really enjoy the team. Even when they tell me my title doesn't work, my working title doesn't work, I still love it, and it's still fun to be able to submit different ideas and bounce it off of them and have the sales team decide what title they think is best.
So the secret to happiness in a traditional publishing relationship is non-attachment.
Oh, that's good. I think I like that statement, and I would agree, Terry.
How do you do your research for these books?
Because I have never been a police officer myself, I had to have lots of consultants, which I've been very fortunate to have great canine handlers and patrol officers allow me to shadow them. My husband had a client who trained patrol and protection dogs, and he allowed me to shadow him. Lots of reading books, and that particular officer had written a book on training patrol dogs. So that was great to have his book. And then I like to go to what are called dog trials, canine dog trials. Some jurisdiction will host dogs coming in from all over the region to compete in their skill sets. It's so interesting, and you can see the wide variety of training and the responsiveness of the dog to the handler. Those are some of the things I've done. And in my distant past, 30 years ago, I did do some search and rescue training myself with 2 of our dogs. And so I at least had that background in how to train a dog in nose work.
And you no doubt have made some lifelong friends in the process of all of this.
Yep. I think authors are really lucky that way because we do get to meet people outside of our profession that we really get attached to. So yes.
How do you like to interact with your readers? How can people get in touch with you?
I'm on social media. I'm on Facebook, author Margaret Mizushima, and I'm on X at MargMizu, MargMizu, Instagram MargMizu, MargMizu, and my website. That's how we can interact. On my website is a way you can send me an email, so I'd love to hear from you.
This has been wonderful. Congratulations on your series, on your success. Thank you for being on the show.
Oh, thank you. Such a pleasure to get to visit with you.
In Conversation with Terry Shepard is a copyrighted presentation. All rights reserved. I'm Lisa Davis. Join Terry Shepard next time in Conversation.